Hello, people. How you doing? So, I'm working on my rock and roll game. I'm working on another kind of a end level boss theme, and so you have some variety after you clear the waves of asteroids. And I have the boss, the big red boss ship that shoots the lightning balls at you. And I'm kind of working on adding some monster rock content. As you can see, that's a huge freaking asteroid. And I've tried a couple of different things as far as like making the rock and making it so that you shoot at it and chunks fall off. I think I want to make it so you have to protect the earth. I mean, after all, the main game in rock and roll is protecting the earth. So in this particular level, I think I want to try to have you protect the earth from getting hit. To do that, though, rather than having you bust this big asteroid apart, I'm thinking about maybe when this boss level first spawns in, but I'm thinking about having the VDS spawn in here, and then you'll see the earth down in the bottom right, and then the VDS will actually magically spawn in this huge freaking rock, and he'll laugh. And instead of the rock, the big ass rock being hurled at the earth, I'm thinking what'll happen is the VDS will hurl his molten shots at the big rock and cause pieces of the rock to crumble off. So I don't think I want to have the VDS shooting you, and I don't want you to be able to go and destroy the VDS. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably put some kind of a barrier. I'll create like a magical shield or something like that that kind of goes across in the middle somewhere here. And the big rock can't go through the shield, you can't go through the shield, and the VDS can't go through the shield. The VDS also can't shoot rocks or you through the shield. So neither one of you can shoot at each other while the shield's in place. And the big ass rock can't go through the shield to hit the earth. But what can happen, I'm thinking, is the VDS will shoot the big rock, and then the pieces, the chunks that fall off the rock when he shoots it, will be able to go through that shield. And you have to be over here kind of shooting the little chunks before they hit the earth. And you're trying to protect the earth. And every time maybe the VDS shoots chunks off the rock, he'll laugh. Eventually, at some point, I'll have it so the big rock will disappear, and the VDS will be over here. The shield will still be here. You'll be stuck over on this side, and then the shield at the end, after you protect the earth, the shield will disappear, and then you'll actually have to protect the earth from the VDS himself. So you'll be able to compete and try to destroy the VDS. But before you get to fight the VDS, and before the VDS can hurt you, it'll all be about the VDS trying to break apart this big ass rock and get the earth destroyed. And you'll have to kind of save the earth from all the rocks flying towards it. Maybe it would be better to just leave the VDS out of it, leave the magical shield out of it completely, and have the rock go towards the monster rock go towards the earth. And maybe, obviously, if I hit the rock right now, I believe if I hit the rock, I die. Yeah. So if you hit the rock, you're obviously going to lose a life, right? But maybe it would be more fun is if your bullets actually move the rock back. That could be interesting. So every time you shoot the rock, it moves the rock. The rock's going to continue to come towards the earth, but you kind of slow down the every shot will kind of not slow it down, but keep it from moving for a second. But at the expense or at the risk of pieces of the monster rock shattering off and flying at higher speeds towards the Earth. I don't know how I should do this. That's a 1-to-1 scale. Yeah, I just drew that. It's a 1-to-1 scale. It's a big-ass sprite. So if I get out of this, yeah, I'll show you. Let me bring up my desktop again here. So, I mean, I'll show you the sprites, like asteroid sprites right here. Like, here's a huge rock, 128 by 128. This is the biggest, like the biggest asteroid in the game before Monster Rock. It's created on a 128 by 128 size. And it can look like 3 different rocks. So the biggest rocks in the game are, take those 3 formations right there. And that's how big they are right there. That's the biggest rock in the game right now. And if we go to Monster Rock, so the biggest rock before was 128 by 128. This one's a 500 by 500 sprite. So it's a massive sprite. Yeah. So what if we have the Earth here, right? Here's your ship. The VDS spawns over here. The VDS comes in. I kind of like the idea of you going up against the VDS and the VDS kind of creating the monster rock and laughing. And sending, maybe the VDS will spawn the rock and send the rock towards the Earth and laugh. And as the rock comes, you have the ability to push the rock back towards the VDS, but the VDS can shoot the rock as well. And so kind of like a game of ping pong. Think almost like a ping pong where you're competing against the VDS. You're trying to send the rock back at the VDS. The VDS is trying to send the rock at the Earth. But every time you shoot the rock, and every time the VDS shoots the rock, there's a chance of crumbles of the big monster rock coming off. And the crumbles could fly around, and you'd have to watch those crumbles, you know, the smaller pieces of the rock, to make sure they don't hit the Earth and kill people. That could be cool too. I don't know. Thinking here. Don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I want to make it as fun as I can. And if I open it up like that, so it's like kind of a game of ping pong, the question is, will you be able to go and just fight the VDS to take it out? Because that would kind of destroy the... people that know how to take out the VDS would just go kill the VDS, so he's not continuing to send the rock at the Earth, and then they would just change the trajectory and make it move back this way. Maybe that's how you win the. Maybe that's how you win this level, is get the monster rock sent this way enough, and it goes off the screen. And of course, the VDS wins if he hits. If he destroys the Earth, either by sending the monster rock into the Earth or pieces of the monster rock into the Earth. I think I will. I think I'm going to create a shield, not a shield, but a barrier. And maybe I'll even make the VDS spawn it in. Like, the VDS will appear first, and then he'll spawn the barrier and laugh. And maybe I'll even have him say something like, "You can't get me," or something. I don't know. But I'll have it look pretty obvious. The VDS will appear first. He'll first create a magical barrier to keep you from getting at him. And then he'll spawn in the monster rock. The monster rock can go across the barrier. The only thing that can't go across the barrier is you and your shots, and the VDS, his shots, and him. So all rocks can cross the barrier, but you and the VDS cannot cross the barrier. So the VDS is trying to send the rock this way and break crumbles off to create drama for you, and you're trying to knock the rock back towards him and also take care of any crumbles that come off because they might hit your Earth. How's it going, NBC Company? What's going on, dude? I like the concept of keeping up with protecting the Earth. It is the story behind the game. Yeah. If the Earth is destroyed by either the monster rock or debris, it'd probably be. I probably will make it be game over. Yeah, because your main mission is to protect the Earth. Or I could make it. I could do something with the geogems. So rather than your game being over, like if it is challenging, I don't know that I would want somebody to, like, let's say somebody goes in and they go into this, boss battle, and they have, 7 lives or something like that. They're doing really well. And then all of a sudden they lose this boss battle. That's a lot of pressure that if the Earth gets hit by even, an asteroid or whatever, that the game's over. So I think what I might do, what do you guys think about this? So you're earning these geogems, right? Maybe I'll make it so if a rock hits the Earth, the geogems can protect it. After all, the geogems are there to protect your Earth or to try to save the Earth. So, as long as you have a geogem, and it's not the main big fucking rock, I'm going to say if the main big rock hits the Earth, it's game over. Because a geogem isn't strong enough to protect the Earth from that big of a rock. But if it's any other rock, the rocks that are the debris rocks that are breaking off, if one of those debris rocks hits the Earth, after all, they'll be flying faster too, so it'll be a little bit more challenging to hit all of them. But if a rock hits the Earth, as long as you have at least one geogem, the geogem will be destroyed, but the Earth will be saved. So just like kind of like the whole theme of my game, the geogems will help you protect the Earth in this wave, in this bot battle. That sounds good to me. What do you think? It's an interesting angle, the artificially generated monster rock to attack the Earth. Definitely a higher difficulty level. You could give it 3 lives before game over, or 3 or 5 or something. Yeah. I just want to create something different. Like Rock and Roll is all about, you have the boss battle, which is a little bit different than the main shooting rocks element. But here I really want to try to create a battle where you don't get to just go destroy the VDS at the start. You have to kind of have a battle of pushing the rock back and forth. And the way you'll do that is with your shots. So it'll take a lot of your shots. So things like getting rapid fire. So maybe I'll continue to have the rapid fire power up be a possibility. So power ups will be a possibility here in this mode. So you might get a power up like rapid fire, or in the upgrade center you can increase your firepower. So either way, increased firepower in this mode is going to help you, because the more you can fire, the more you're going to be able to push that rock back the other way. So maybe I won't even make rapid fire. Maybe I won't even make power-ups come into this wave. It'll challenge you. It'll make you realize, hey, every time you go to the upgrade center, I might want to put money into my firepower, so that when I go up against the freaking VDS in the monster rock battle, I'll be able to easier push that rock away. Maybe I won't do power-ups. It'll give you more reason to increase your firepower at the upgrade center. I was referring to about debris like a meteor shower. In a real-life scenario, it would be Earth's destruction. At least for the life forms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's go ahead and work. I know that I don't want the player to just be able to go in and take out the VDS first thing when this thing spawns. So I gotta prevent the player from being able to cross over where the VDS is. So I think we're gonna put, the VDS doesn't need a lot of space. We need just enough space to where he can fire at the rock. So I think the line, the barrier is going to be somewhere over on this side, giving you, the player, more room to fly around. And if you hit the barrier here, you'll just bounce off. Okay, so we just need to create something that looks kind of like a magical barrier. I'm kind of thinking just some like blue lines that kind of change, that kind of have waves. So I know my height of the screen is like, I I believe it's like 812. Yeah, it's about 812, something like that. So we're going to go ahead and create a new sprite here, guys. And how wide do I want this thing? Maybe as wide as the ship, so maybe 32. So we're going to call this sprite barrier. And we are going to create a new one. And it's going to be 32 wide by 812 long. And all we're doing now, guys, is creating this barrier so it's obvious that you can't just go over and attack the VDS. And he can't attack you. How you doing, Wolfie? What's going on? So you guys like the idea of the barrier? I mean, we need something visible to show the player and prevent the player from going over and just attacking the VDS. The VDS is going to be safe from your spiral attacks and your dynamite and all that shit in this mode. I think it might be easier to draw this in a different program. But we'll do my best right here. Up. Oops. Fuck, man. I keep going outside my limit. And don't worry, we're just trying to get an idea of we're just trying to get a basic idea, because we might completely change this, guys. I just want to see if this is going to work. Alright, so if we go like this now, and we can also add effects to it as well. So if we go Control C, Control V, we get two of the same one now. Now we're going to, let's go ahead and go C, V, CV again. Now we got four of the same things. Now we just need to alter this thing. So here we're going to go transform. We're going to flip it horizontally. We don't want it to apply to all images. We just want it to apply to this one. Let's go ahead and get a preview, guys. Speed it up. Oops, that's slower. It's too fast. Okay, hang on. For this one, we're just going to transform. We're going to scale this one. We don't want to scale it vertically. We want to scale it horizontally, like make it smaller. Bam. Kind of like that. And then here we'll just scale it again. Maybe not as much. Okay. Something like that. Well, let's go ahead and move this image here this way. Maybe not so fast. Maybe even slower than that. 20. So that's kind of what it'll look like, except it'll be longer. Does that look like a barrier, guys? That's the idea, anyway. I mean, look how fast I created that, guys. That kind of looks pretty cool, right? How you doing, Random Gaming? What's going on? 8 people here now. Sassy, how you doing? Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we need to do a create event on this thing. And we just need to set the speed and all that. Image speed equal point. Let's try that. We can also make it change color as well. We can use a command and kind of make the hue change color if we want to. I don't know that we want to do that. But all we're going to do, guys, for right now is we're just going to go ahead and place this object into the monster rock area and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. What I'm eventually going to do is I'm going to have the VDS spawn. I'm going to use code to make the VDS spawn first. I'll make him laugh, and then he'll be like, he'll create the barrier, and then he'll create the rock. So it'll look like the VDS is spawning this shit in. But right now I just want to make sure it looks right and all that. Make sure it looks okay. So for right now, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to put the barrier like right. Yep, that's about. I got it about the right height, about the right size and everything. We're just going to do something like that, and we also need to, when we spawn this freaking, not monster, yeah, monster control right here. This guy also needs to be at. That's the monster rock. Where's the VD? Oh yeah, I haven't made the VDS yet. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna. This VDS guy though needs to be different than my main VDS. So object VDS, we're just gonna duplicate that guy because I need different code because this VDS is not gonna do the same thing as the other VDS. So object. I'll just call this one MR VDS. And he's actually gonna he's gonna show up down here. We're gonna drag him down here with our monster rock shit for now. And we're gonna go instance create. We're gonna put him about probably 40, 450, comma, object, MR, VDS. No, I know a lot of you guys have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But when we create this guy, he's going to have all this crap like the same amount of life and all that. I think. We might make him harder to destroy it eventually. But for right now, guys, we are not going to... Right in the normal game, he tries to destroy asteroids and shit like that. So for right now, he is not going to be doing any of this shit. He's not going to be moving around, really. And if he does, we don't want any of this stuff here. So we don't want him firing at the player and other shit right now. So we're just going to take all that shit out. What is this alarm here? This is just his evil sounds. Okay. Let's go ahead and play and see what we got. How you doing, Barty? The game is out? What game is out? Hey, Kurumi, how you doing? Sorry, guys, I'm missing some of the chat. Now we're starting to get some people coming here. I'm surprised at how many people end up coming in and watching these streams when I work on this coding a game. I would think it would be extremely boring to watch somebody coding a game, but in the past, people have seemed to enjoy these streams. Alright, so we're going to go... That actually doesn't look half bad. Where's my VDS, though? Oh, there he is. He's moving around. He shouldn't be moving around. We can prevent that, though. Oh, I think it's because when he's created it, it chooses a direction for him to move. So we can hear the sounds of the VDS. He's going to end up spawning in the rock. And I need to make it so that we can't cross this barrier here. And he can't cross the barrier. But the barrier actually looks pretty good for now. I mean, I can always make it look better now. But I think it's pretty obvious right now, hey, we can't cross that barrier. There it is. Bam. Okay. So, see, now I can kind of play with it here in this example. So, the VDS is going to fire his shots. He's going to spawn in. First thing we're going to have is I want to have when this level first spawns, it's going to spawn your ship in the earth, and the VDS will spawn first, and then he'll laugh and he'll spawn the shield to protect him from you going and killing him. Because really the best way to kill the VDS is by either dynamiting him or spiral attacking him with your ship, right? So he's going to spawn this shield to protect himself from you being able to get to him. Okay? And then after he spawns the shield, he's going to boom. And I think I want him to spawn the... Well, he'll spawn it like maybe right here. So we need to get a spawn point here. Okay, so 375X, and again about 475Y. So 375, 475, okay, is where he needs to spawn the rock. Okay, so he'll spawn the rock about here, and then he'll start firing at it. He'll immediately fire a shot at it, and it'll send the rock moving. So the rock's gonna needs to stay still, not move at all. Right now, it actually moves when it's spawned, so I need to take that out, and I need to make sure the rock only moves when either you fire at it or he fires at it. So the VDS will fire a shot at it and send it on its way before you can even do anything. And so then the rock's going to slowly come this way. And you, as the player, are going to have to come over here and shoot, and your shots will make it move slower. Obviously, if you have stronger firepower, it's going to help you send the rock back this way. However, this is exactly how big the rock's going to be on the screen. So my question, guys, my problem comes, I want to have the, I'm thinking the player could potentially come over here and knock the rock down this way off the screen. And if like the rock's coming down here, let's going to say we're going to have the rock completely disappear from the screen for you to win this battle. So whether you knock it off this way, whether you knock it off this way, or get up under it and knock it off this way, you'll succeed. The problem is, let's say the rock's coming up this way, the VDS is stuck over here. If he's firing at it from, you know, down over here or whatever, even if we make him smart and he comes all the way up to the top, if he comes all the way up to the top and he fires at it, I guess it would still send it back to the earth because the earth is in the middle. So what if it's way over here? If he comes over here and fires at it, from way down here in the corner, if he fires at it, maybe if he fires at the top of it, it'll kind of send the rock back. So I think we can make the VDS smart enough to move up and down if you're trying to send the rock off the side of the screen. But what if it's right here? He gets down here and fires at it. He's going to help push it this way, but really not towards the earth. That could be a problem, guys. I'm wondering if I shouldn't create more barriers that this guy creates or something so that you can't send the rock off the side. You have to push it back over him, basically. This is the stuff. What I'm really trying to do is get this all planned out, because once I know how this particular monster rock content is going to work, then it's a lot easier to code it. So if I just start coding random crap in, I mean, it's not going to be fun. That's kind of what I had before. I had a whole level programmed where the VDS wasn't here or anything, and the rock just came in towards the earth, and you could shoot the rock and chunks would fall off of it, but it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. So that's when I kind of had the idea, hey, I need to create a VDS and maybe, you know, just come up to date with being able to kind of have a ping pong battle with a rock. VDS is trying to send the rock to the earth. You're trying to send the rock away from the earth. So how would I prevent the player from going over here, shooting the rock up, or coming up here and shooting it down? I mean, because potentially the player could even come over here, shoot this way, and send it off this way. I don't want that to be able to happen, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to prevent that from happening. I think I might need to create maybe a smaller barrier, a thinner barrier like this. I could just do the same one, stretch it out, and make barriers go all the way around. here. And the only thing that can go through these barriers is rocks. So rocks of all sizes are going to fly everywhere through the barriers, I think. Yeah, I probably won't make them invisible though, because I want the player to know that they can't knock the rock down off the sides or up off the side. So I might just create bigger barriers. I just don't want it to look too confusing or too weird. And we already got one barrier here.
I could also make it.
I could make it so if you're shooting at this direction here and you hit the rock, it doesn't even move. Maybe I could make it so you kind of have to fire it back this direction, or the rock won't even move. And so instead of like putting a ton of barriers, I think this is really the only barrier I want. If I can prevent having to create more barriers all the way over here, I just think that would look weird. I want to kind of leave it feeling open. I also want you to have the ability as the player to warp around. And if you can't pass through these barriers, then also if I created barriers all the way around, I mean the rock's already moving through this barrier and other rocks can move through the barrier. So it wouldn't make sense that the rock can move through this barrier, but it can't move through the barriers unless I made them a different color or something, red or something. But again, that's going to look really freaking... I just think it'll look weird. So maybe I'll make it some way where you can't... you can only fire... Maybe I can either make it so you can only fire this direction. Or if you do fire like down at it, it just won't move. It just won't move it at all. Almost like it's in a trajectory for the Earth or away from the Earth. I'm trying to figure out if it would be frustrating though. If you're the player and you come in and fire shots at it and get down here and the rock doesn't do anything, I think it'll be pretty obvious, right? Maybe I'll even make it... Sounds can go a long ways, guys. Sounds can go a long ways. So maybe I'll make it so that if a shot, one of your shots hits the asteroid from the top or the bottom, so if you're trying to send the rock, you know, off the screen like this or whatever, maybe I'll just make it make a chink sound or something like kink, like, you know, like a different sound than if you hit it and knock it this way. So it'll be more of a satisfying sound, like boop, you know, if you send it back this way. But if you send it, if you try to shoot it at the wrong angle, it'll just kind of have like a bounce off sound. Cool rock, Wolfie. Yeah, I drew everything here myself. I mean, and if you guys want to support me, I mean, if you guys want to go get the game's available on Steam right now. The link is down in the description. Rock and roll. I'm just working on new content for it. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll just make it so that if you're firing at it and you're firing at an angle that would send the rock, I'll have to work out the angles. But I think I'm just going to make it so if you're obviously trying to send the rock like off the screen like this, your bullets will have no effect, and instead when the bullet hits the rock, you'll hear like an obvious sound that'll be like it's not doing anything, like your bullets are just bouncing off. And in fact, I could even make the bullets bounce off so you can actually see the bullets bouncing off. That would be cool. Whereas if you're shooting it this way, the rocks will the bullets will disappear. So your bullets will disappear. You'll hear a more satisfying sound knocking it back this way. And if you're trying to come under here and knock it up, the rock won't move. You'll see your bullets bouncing off, and you'll hear a completely different sound. I mean, that is what look at your ship compared to what I have now. You know, this was my rocks compared to what they are now. But look at your ship, guys. Look at how this is what my first version of rock and roll. And then, you know, so it was a lot simpler back then than what it is now. I think back then there were only 3 sizes of rocks as well, where now there's like 5 stages or 5 sizes of rocks. So, and Monster Rock gives it 6 different sizes. But that is, you know, that's what Monster Rock looked like. I mean, that's what rock and roll looked like back when I first developed it. There we go. So you might have rocks coming off as you're shooting this rock. So you're not only having this battle for knocking this rock back and forth, you're trying to get the rock off the screen this way to win. And then once you clear the rock off this way, the shield will disappear. So if you get the rock off the screen, the shield's going to disappear, and then you can go get your revenge on the VDS and take him out. I might even make this amusing, because if you see the VDS in your game, he definitely is very aggressive. He'll eat you, and he'll fire at you to shoot. But in this game, what do you guys think? If you win this war against him, the shield will disappear, right? And then I'll probably make a whole new sound for him, and I'll make him go, oh shit, or something, I don't know. I'll make the VDS make some kind of scared sound, and he'll actually run from you. That would be cool and comical. So rather than, you know, the player, especially the first time they see this, the first time they get into this mode, they've never seen it before, right? Maybe they faced the VDS before in a prior game, and they know this fucker's dangerous as shit and fires all kinds of shots at you. So they're totally expecting that once you get this rock off the screen, they're totally expecting when the shield gets vanquished, right? They're going to be really careful. They're going to be up here going, okay, I need to use my spiral, I need to get in close. They're going to be expecting this motherfucker to be firing at you and moving in close to you. But instead, this motherfucker is going to go, ah, and make some kind of weird sound, and he's going to run away from you. Now, everything can wrap around this point, so the VDS is going to be able to wrap around. But in this mode, he's going to fucking run from you once you win this battle, and you got to try to chase him down and fuck him up. I think that'll be cool. So he's going to be scared of you after you win this massive battle of this, because he's going to see that you're knocking chunks off this fucking rock. These chunks are going to fly faster than this big massive rock, and if these chunks flying around, any of these chunks hit your earth, you better have Geos gems to protect it. If you don't have a Geos gem to protect the earth is going to blow up. And in fact, I might even make some kind of an effect where if a rock hits the earth, as long as you have a Geos gem, you'll see some kind of a shield protecting the earth, and then the rock will be destroyed, I guess. But obviously, you don't want to lose Geos gems in this mode, so you're going to be working like a mofo to take these things out. Meanwhile, while you're trying to take all these chunks out, while you're trying to fly around shooting all these rocks, guess what the VDS is going to be doing? The VDS is going to continue to be firing at this son of a bitch, sending the main rock towards the earth. Guys, if I do this right, I think this could be the best and most fun part of the whole game. I think Monster Rock, if I do this right, and that's exactly why I've, been, I haven't put this content out a long time ago, even though I kind of had the idea of Monster Rock 4 or 5 months ago. If I do this right, guys, I think this is going to be a fun freaking mode. People are going to be saying, oh man, can you make a mode just for Monster Rock? I just want to play Monster Rock by itself.